I want to talk about what happened on Sunday Night Football because as someone who was in Tampa last weekend, me and my buddies were contemplating pushing our flights back to go watch this Saints-Bucks game. And my God, am I happy I didn't spend the money to do so, because what an ugly affair that was in Tampa Bay. The Saints win 38-3. They were up 31-0 in the first half, which says it all about where this game went and how it happened so quickly. But I want to have a conversation about Tom Brady real quick, because I've come on this show before, last time with Andrew, and I said that I think Drew Brees isn't the guy in New Orleans. And listen, you could argue that either way. I'm a Jameis guy, but I think he'd be a better fit for that offense. But at least Drew Brees can go out and put points on the board like he did with his weapons. Tom Brady just put up 3 points against a Saints defense that, let's be honest, it's not very good. It's one of the, I would argue, worst secondaries in the NFL. And they put up 3 points, and Tom Brady throws 3 picks and turns the ball over a ton. Tom Brady's washed up. Yeah, the Bucs are 6-3, but Tom Brady's washed up, guys. I need to say it, because you look at this Bucs team, and yeah, he had a good week against Oakland. I'm not going to deny that. Oakland, Vegas, apologies. Tom Brady is playing on a Bucs team that has one of the best defenses in the league and one of the better D coordinators in Todd Bowles, who, yes, he's not a good head coach, but he's a damn good defensive coordinator with a ton of talent around him. He's got tons of weapons. I mean, let's look at that, go down the list here. Chris Godwin, who was the best slot receiver in the NFL last year. Mike Evans, who's one of the better deep threats in the game. Rob Gronkowski, who is arguably the best tight end of all time. And now Antonio Brown, who has an argument to be one of the best wide receivers of all time. And yeah, Brown's first week back last week, he's clearly not washed up, though. And Gronk clearly isn't washed up. And certainly Godwin and Evans aren't. And he's got a great run game, a great offensive line. And he just put up 3 points at home against a not very good Saints defense. And I want to bring up a stat for you real quick. Lowest percentage of throws on target this year. Let's go through the bottom 5. Drew Lock, Dwayne Haskins, Carson Wentz, Sam Darnold, Tom Brady. It's not exactly great company. It really isn't. And yes, the Bucs are going to put up points because the pieces around Tom Brady are terrific. But this is last year's Patriots team all over again. Elite defense. They didn't have great weapons around Brady, but a great defense that's going to carry them places, and they're going to fall short because they don't have the quarterback to do it. And I'm a full believer that Tom Brady is not that quarterback.
I mean, when you say Tom Brady's washed up, I disagree there. I mean, I don't think he needs to be MVP Tom Brady from the Patriots to take this team to the playoffs or deep into the playoffs. I think he just needs to be someone who can complete passes and then be good in the red zone. And I think he has been all up until last week. I mean, I've got this big stat from last week. Under pressure, 46% of his dropbacks. First 8 games, 14%. So I think that just shows you the offensive line had a brutal night against the Saints. Ali Marpet was out. He's back to practice today. So I think both those things bode well for them going forward. I think that you can make the case that that's probably the biggest reason Brady didn't have a good night. And Brady, we both know, recently has been bad under pressure. If you give Brady time, then I think that's going to help him. So I think that it's too soon to call this Bucs team off. I'm not a believer that they're a Super Bowl contender, but I still think they're the second best team in that division. I think that they're going to make it deep into the playoffs and be a threat. And it's too tough to count Tom Brady up. It's just too tough.
I don't think I'm counting the Bucs out. I like this Bucs team. I think defensively, this is a team that's going to carry them pretty far, honestly. And I'm not saying they're going to the Super Bowl. They're not Super Bowl contenders because they don't have enough offensively and they don't have enough at quarterback in Tom Brady. But like I said, I mean, the company this year that he's carrying just throws on target. He's missing 25% of the time. You can't have that with the weapons that he has. And I think I agree with your point that last week he was under a ton of pressure. And I don't care who you are. When you're over the age of 40, if you're under pressure all the time, you're going to be in trouble just because you can't move. I mean, Drew Brees would be in the same sentence here if he was under that type of pressure. But overall, I think the reason that the Bucs have had success to this point, it's not because of Tom Brady. It's because of what they've done on the defensive side of the football. It's what their run game has been able to do, because I'm a big believer in Ronald Jones. Leonard Fournette has been a really nice complementary piece as well. And they have guys out on the outside, like I mentioned, Evans, Godwin, Gronkowski, Brown. The list goes on in terms of weapons that they have that are all-time greats. And I mean literal all-time greats at the skill positions. And the offensive line has been good this year. Yes, it wasn't good on Sunday night, but again, I think that the Bucs' success to this point and the Bucs' success going forward is entirely reliant on what they're doing defensively, because I'd argue they have the best defense in football right now. And listen, their direction, I think Pittsburgh's a conversation there for sure, and Pittsburgh probably is number one, but there's an argument for the Bucs having the best defense in the National Football League right now. And I think that is where their success is.